Welcome to Storytime with Nat. I'm Natalie, your storyteller. Today we have some tree law stories where we find out how expensive trees are. This next story is titled, Cutting Crew Took Down a Tree and Damaged Another on My Property While Clear Cutting the Neighboring Property. What is my recourse and/or expected compensation? And is brought to us by Affectionate Good. We live back in the woods and the surrounding property is currently being clear-cut by a company our neighbor hired. Nearly all of our property is defined by a boundary fence except for a 100-foot break. This break contains 4 fully mature fir trees that are some of the larger ones on our property. We had spoken to the job foreman about the break in the fence. His instruction from my neighbor was everything up to the fence line, and told him we would wrap landscaping tape around the trees on our property. He agreed this was a good solution. Since then, one of his cutters came into our property and felled a 100-foot-tall fir with a diameter of nearly 40 inches and started to shave the side of another to prep for felling. After speaking with the foreman, he apologized and said he would be speaking with the owner of the company to compensate us. Mistakes happen. I'm not upset, just frustrated. Does anyone have experience with this? What can I expect moving forward? Does anyone know the approximate value of this tree? FYI, Pacific Northwest north of Seattle. Ugh, that's frustrating to lose such a big, beautiful tree. Fortunately, we have an update on this story. The owner of the cutting company initially offered us $800. Not what I was expecting, and when we pushed back, he quickly went up to $3,500. At the time, I had no idea what a good or bad offer was, or even what the value of the tree was, lumber or otherwise. We thanked him for the offer and told him we need to think about it. We were just buying time. We knew it was time to reach out to a lawyer. Our first consultation was strange to say the least. He charged us $300 for the meeting and didn't give us much in return. He tried to talk down to us, saying details matter in regards to the law, referencing the fact he thought I had mixed up circumference and diameter, saying a tree that size would be as wide as my desk here. I agreed that it was the size of his desk, and he scoffed. It became clear to me that he had not reviewed the drive folder provided, seeing there is a picture of me holding a tape measure across the stump. I ended the meeting there, feeling ripped off, and left. Our second consultation was completely different. This man was kind but stern and shared our general outrage of the situation we had found ourselves in. He informed us that the first lawyer we had spoken with was flat out wrong with his advice and believed he never intended to take the case, but just collect the consultation fee. This man was ready to go to battle with us, and we had finally found the advocate we were looking for. He informed us that this process would start with a demand letter, move into expert evaluation, and then to court proceedings, which is slow and sloppy. We would basically be suing the contractor's insurance, and the insurance lawyers love to get their billable hours. To move forward, we would need to provide our lawyer with a monthly retainer of $5,000, with the expectation of this taking 3 to 6 months of billable hours. To front that amount of money is a scary thought, to say the least. We started with the demand letter, as it was a flat fee before we started the retainer work, with a stated amount that we would settle for out of court. To our surprise, the contractor accepted very shortly after. The demand letter cost $1,250. After it was all said and done, our net was just under $20K. Could we have gotten more? Most likely, but the thought of spending $30 to $40K upfront with an uncertain outcome was too much for us to risk. All in all, we miss our trees but are very happy with the outcome. My advice: never take the first offer, find a good lawyer, and be patient. Well, $20,000 is a pretty nice outcome, especially with how little the guy was offering at first. Also, what a pain with that first lawyer. I'm glad they persevered and kept trying to find someone who would work with them. This next story is titled My Renters Removed My Peach Tree and is brought to us by Internal Eggplant. Back when we purchased our home in Texas, my family and I planted a peach tree starter. We've had that peach tree for 20 years, and it was healthy and well taken care of when we decided to rent out our house. My renters recently moved out of the house, and when inspecting the property, I found out that they had my tree, along with a couple other smaller trees and shrubs in the backyard, completely removed without my consent or knowledge. I don't know much about tree laws, but I'm heartbroken and would like to know if there's anything I can do about this. Edit. For those commenting about the tree possibly dying, this is a completely fair statement since I don't know if my tenants even maintained the property. I was in a different state and wasn't fully aware of recent weather conditions. I would like to clarify that I'm not stating they removed a completely healthy tree abruptly for no reason. I'm just dumbfounded that they hadn't made me aware of the situation whatsoever, and that more than just that tree was removed. They also removed a fig tree and pomegranate bush. For those commenting that it possibly fell over in a storm, Possibly. But the tree was rather close to the back of my house and my fence line. It would have almost certainly damaged my house or the fencing had it fallen over in a storm. Edit 2. I am heartbroken, but I don't plan to outright sue my previous tenants, at least not for the trees. With all the given information regarding extreme weathers, I need to discuss issues with my tenants before jumping to extremes such as suing. Thank you all for your input. That is really sad. There are lots of bad landlords out there, but this sounds like a good one. If you are renting, talk to your landlord before making any major changes to the property, including landscaping. You could be footing an expensive bill to return things to previous condition or paying damages. I'm glad this landlord is not suing them, but sounds like better communication is needed. Thanks for listening. Go enjoy some trees today, just don't cut them down without permission. I'm still pretty new to making videos, so please give me any feedback you have in the comments. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have a great day. Love you all.